The sun was setting over the quiet suburban town as I made my way home from work. As I drove down the familiar streets, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that had been creeping up on me all day. It was as if someone was watching me, their eyes following my every move. I brushed off the feeling as I pulled up to my house, relieved to finally be home. But as I got out of my car, I noticed something odd. A flyer had been slipped under my windshield wiper. It read, "Pose Circus, the Nevermore Ventriloquist show, one night only." I had never heard of this circus before, and the flyer gave off an eerie vibe. But curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to check it out. The address on the flyer led me to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. As I approached the warehouse, I couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The doors creaked open as I stepped inside, and I was immediately hit with the smell of musty old fabric and sawdust. The interior was dark and dusty, with the only source of light coming from a spotlight in the center of the room. I cautiously made my way towards the spotlight, my footsteps echoing loudly in the empty space. As I got closer, I could hear a low, eerie tune playing in the background. And then, I saw it. A stage had been set up in front of the spotlight, with a single figure standing on it. It was a ventriloquist dummy, but it looked unlike any I had ever seen before. Its face was twisted into a permanent, sinister grin. Its eyes seemed to follow me wherever I moved. And then, the dummy spoke. "Welcome to Pose Circus, where nightmares come to life." I was frozen in fear, unable to move or speak. The dummy continued its show, its voice growing louder and more menacing with each passing moment. And then, it turned its attention to me. "You there, in the audience. I can see the fear in your eyes. You will be my next victim," it said, its wooden arm pointing directly at me. I tried to run, but my feet wouldn't budge. It was as if I was under some kind of spell. And then, all of a sudden, the lights went out and the dummy's voice stopped. I could feel something cold and clammy touch my shoulder, and then I heard a whisper in my ear. "Nevermore." I screamed and ran towards the exit, not looking back until I was safely outside. As I caught my breath, I realized that the flyer had been right. It was a one-night show because the warehouse was now completely gone. It had disappeared as if it had never been there in the first place. I never spoke of what happened that night to anyone. But every time I drove by the spot where the warehouse had stood, I could feel the presence of something sinister, something that wanted to lure unsuspecting victims into its twisted world. And every once in a while, I would receive a flyer for Pose Circus in my mailbox, a chilling reminder that it was never truly gone.